Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Time for another adventure in Kerbal Space Program. Before I kick over to the session though, I just want to point out that I made a mistake in my capture method. I was streaming the 12 Hours of Bathurst and iRacing yesterday, which I stream at 720p for bandwidth reasons, but I record at 1080p. Well, I forgot to toggle it back to 1080p. So a lot of really cool stuff happens in this episode. I build an amazing piece of equipment, but I do it all at 720, so I'm sorry. This just won't look as good as the other content. But I think you'll still enjoy it. I sure had a lot of fun with this one. I'm really proud of what I built. So I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the show. All right, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today in our Kerbal Space Program adventures, we are going to take on a couple of new contracts. We're going to further our exploration of our little area of the galaxy. And we're going to explore Minmus, which is the second moon of Kerbin. Now, because of what we've been learning about the fuel usage in our lander craft, we're going to start by developing a puller or a tugboat in concept. We're gonna develop an efficient pulling vehicle that'll be probe controlled to pull our lander from place to place, and then that's going to serve as a starting platform for a puller that will eventually take us interplanetary, right? But for today, Minmus is not terribly hard to get to, and it's very, very low gravity. So this mission will be focused on doing a just a flyby. So just like we did from the moon, we're going to start with a flyby, and then there will be some landing and base missions. So yeah, so that's our order of operations. There's also a side mission here that I've accepted to do science data from the surface of the moon. So we might, depending on how well the Minmus thing goes, we might go ahead and do this today too. I'm not sure. But this also sort of makes me want to start thinking about accepting this station mission too, if that's still here. Surface outpost, yeah. So anyway, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and accept that. So that'll be our next thing after we do some Minmus stuff. That'll be our next major mission is landing on the moon again and pulling home some new science. So for today's purposes, I'm going to go into the VAB and build out a brand new puller, and then we're going to send that up and dock it with the station so that we can refuel everything and then pull that bad boy home. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into accelerated time, and we're going to roll that beautiful bean footage and get this thing built. Enjoy. All right, hello everyone. Welcome back from the high-speed montage. I hope everyone understood that the purpose of this craft is a puller, and so the central core and the 3 attached engines here are the hero that we're trying to get to space. The launch platform, I don't know yet. I've done a couple of small-scale test launches. I think this is one of those situations where I'm going to have to get it upwards of 25,000 meters before I begin my gravity turn, just based on what I just saw. So I'm going to go ahead and crank it up, and we're going to launch with SRBs first. When they get down to about half of a fuel load, I will kick in at probably about 50% the skippers, and then the skippers should take us upwards of 25,000 meters, at which point we will begin our gravity turn. When I tried to do a 10,000 meter gravity turn, it proceeded to have problems. Rolled over really badly, and I think that's just a weight distribution issue because of the fact that there's no thrust in the center here. Okay, let's go ahead and fire up the skippers, get that little bit of extra oomph. Be careful not to accelerate over 2Gs, because at that point you're just fighting against control from here. I keep forgetting to do that. Keep it pointed at the 12 o'clock. It's a little squirrely. She's a little squirrely. And she's dead. Alright. Let's try that again. We'll need to do the control from here before we launch. Alright. Control from here. Let's go to space. SAS on. Just stay pointed true, brother. Make sure the reaction wheel is enabled. It looks like it is, yeah. Both of them are. Wonder if having them at top and bottom is problematic. Okay, if this launch fails, I will try turning off the bottom reaction wheel. That torque down low might be one of the things that's screwing with us. Alright, let's fire her up. Skippers. Puts our acceleration right at 2Gs. Pointing true, looking good. Dropping SRBs in just a moment. Excellent. Let's throttle that bad boy up. Losing a little bit of speed. Let's see if we've got enough oomph here to overcome it. Leveling off at 348, 347. About to start accelerating again. Alright, we're starting to accelerate again. Good. Alright, getting ready to do our gravity turn. Nice and gradual. Not accelerating as much as I'd like. If this doesn't work, I will likely go back and unlock the mainsail. I think I have enough credit for it, and I believe that engine will make short work of this launch. This just might work. We'll see. Start to get there. As always, I feel like I'm using too much fuel. occurred to me I didn't put any lights on this thing. I don't know that it's really necessary, but I like the way they look. Huh. One thing that's neat about this is I can series these things, right? So if I'm going to do an extremely long trip, I can just launch 2 tugboats and use one to tow another one plus the payload craft. And so when we start going out to distant planets, if the nuclear engines aren't, which I don't have nuclears yet, but when we go to Duna, that's going to be a prerequisite I hope to have. Okay, we're looking okay here, actually. Not unhappy with it. Let's just keep on burning prograde. Get our apoapsis up to about 100. And then we'll pause it for a sec and do an insertion burn. Too much fuel though. I mean, we've got a full tugboat, but I mean, that's the idea, is to bring the tugboat up full of fuel so that it can hook up to a lander and get it done. Okay, 100,000 meters. Let's go ahead and pull up closer to that, and then we'll try to do another burn for insertion. Look at that. Look how pretty. What a craft. I'm actually really happy with this build so far. I still think the mainsails would get us up there better. Minute 31. We'll fire at 1 minute to go. 40 seconds to go. Time to apoapsis, 1 minute 9. Alright, we'll do it 50. Good. Okay, it's pushing away. About to run out. Extract the puller first before we fire these guys up. Yeah, look at that. It's great. Look at her. Oh, she looks good. I think this is a great looking tugboat. Oh my goodness. I love it. Love it. Super happy with this. Don't like these engines very much though. I kind of regret this choice, in that they just seem to use a lot of fuel. But as long as, I guess as long as the lander isn't using any fuel, that's okay, right? Keep pushing up here. Got a periapsis, excellent. Look at us. Getting into orbit on the first, like, legit launch attempt. I do wish that I'd gotten the orbital insertion done with the main engines, but c'est la vie. Okay, let's get our orbit up a bit. Cool. This is going amazingly well. I haven't figured out what I've done wrong yet, but I'm sure there's something. We'll find it at some point. We'll be halfway to Minmus, and I'll be like, oh, I forgot a thing, or I did a thing wrong, or there's a problem thing in things. So what that's going to be, I don't know yet, but we're guaranteed to find one because, as my hero Mark Watney said, it's space. It's going to go sideways on you. All right, 39 seconds. We'll just leave that in real time. I'm going to change... How do I change the type of ship without going all the way back to this? Oh, here we go. This is a probe. We can call it a probe, I guess. Yeah, we'll call it a probe. All right, getting ready to fire. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kill engines. Let's see how we did. 66. Give it a little more here. Okay, 1.7 kilometers at 245 delta. That's not bad. We will run with that. Let's go ahead and warp around to about here. Alright, we should be able to see it. There it is, 29 kilometers away. We're on target. Let's focus. Let's get pointed retrograde and be ready to decelerate. Notice how I got a lot of science onto the tugboat too. So that enables me to, number one, take extra crew. So I can always have a scientist on board when I go somewhere. And an engineer. Really, I can have all three personnel types available whenever I'm going somewhere. And I can do orbital experiments and science gathering and communications from this bad boy, while my lander does surface stuff. So I kind of get the best of both worlds with this design, and I'm so far just totally digging it. It's I think one of the best designs I've ever done, so I'm proud of it. And I know that there's some super advanced Kerbal players out there who do some stuff that make this look like child's play, but I am stoked with this thing. It's probably the nicest thing I've ever done. All right, 10 kilometers to go. Let's go ahead and slow it down a little bit. And we'll also reduce our final distance. I'm pointing, as you can see here, away from retrograde a little bit, trying to force the retrograde marker on top of the target marker. That should help reduce my final intercept distance. Meters per second. We're going to close really close like that. Let's give it just a little more. Looking good, looking good. If I'm not careful, I might actually start getting good at this. Remember those first couple intercepts I did where I just blew by? Alright, let's go ahead and use RCS to slow down the rest of the way here from 2.9. We'll get it to within a couple hundred meters. You know, I should have done one more thing with this. I should have attached a new escape pod to the top. I meant to do that, actually. I was thinking about that before playing today, and I totally forgot once I got in. Idea being, the one that's on the station right now is a poor design. I forgot to put a separator on it, so the ablator is covered up by an engine and a fuel tank, which is bad at high heat. And then I also forgot a parachute, which is really bad too. So it's useless. Right now it's just holding a crew member. In fact, I think I'm just going to eject it and then dock this thing and do fuel transfers and whatnot. It'll be a fun docking exercise too. So let's go ahead and null the rate now. One meter per second is fine. All right, who's in here? We're going to transfer whoever it is. Bob, you're going to go to here. So everyone should be in those capsules. Excellent. And then let's just eject this thing and get rid of it. Let's transfer whatever fuel I've got in it first. No reason to waste any fuel. Let's ensure there's nobody in it. Nope. Okay, that's just going to drift away. Shouldn't cause us any problems. There. Alright, let's bring this bad boy in now. Okay, rates are nulled. Let's get pointed. We'll point off to the right. Oh, hold on, we're backwards. Let me roll. Oh, no, we're not. We're good. Let's point off to the right a little bit. I think. Oh, okay. No, we are backwards. All right.
No mail today, maybe tomorrow.
This way I can get lined up for a good insertion here. Problem is we've still got that capsule down there, so we'll have to either nudge it out of the way or just wait for it. Guess we're about to find out if this nose is long enough. I think we'll do a quick save in a minute here just to... In fact, let's do a quick save now. Quick save. Anytime we're about to do surgical stuff. Turn in a little bit. I think in an upcoming episode we're going to do a more advanced station now that we've got some better building materials, and we'll scrap this station 1, or we'll change its purpose. We'll make it a satellite somewhere, or a relay station for communications, that kind of stuff. There's things we can use it for, I guess. It's got engines on it, so if I bring fuel to it, we should be able to totally reutilize it, I guess. Okay, now let's prepare to do a little bit of braking so we can get our final orientation set up. And then we need to get the docking port targeted. In fact, let's control from here. No, not the octo, the docking port, yes. Pardon me. I think I overshot. That's okay. We're just gonna... We'll turn the station. Alright. Let's turn it to point at the station. Wrong way, wrong way. I hate those little pauses that it does whenever it does an autosave. Alright, oriented really well. Let's flip over to the station and point. We're going to control from here, please. And we're going to point at. Let's make sure RCS is off, SAS is off. We've got to be careful to do gentle moves here. We've got that lander on the back of it, and so aggressive moves aren't good. Oh, too much, too much, too much. A lot more mass to work with on this thing. Okay, that's really good right there. Let's flip back. .1 meters per second at the moment. That thing is still wiggling a bit. Stabilize it. There we go. Now, SAS off, RCS on. Let's push forward a bit. Stop your wiggles, dude. I'm actually relatively confident I won't be able to make this dock. Yeah. Okay, no big deal. Let's not dock the tugboat. Let's instead fill up our fuel tanks here.
Check.
Okay, so what we'll do is Alt. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, let's just bring everything into here that I can. I guess all those outer tanks are empty anyway. I really need to do a refueling mission up here. All right. Keep the center of gravity even here on the lander by transferring fuel from here into the other tanks evenly. And then we'll pull whatever's left over into the center tank in the lander. Oh, did I miss one? I do believe so. Yeah, I sure did. I'll have to do some redistribution in a sec. Stop wobbling. So I'm not going to take the time to refuel the tugboat. This will actually be a good test to see whether we have, like whether this is close to being ready for interplanetary travel. Let's go ahead and decouple this. Actually, hang on, let's think about crew first. Who's in this thing? Transfer crew. Bill's in it. And transfer crew, nobody's in it. Okay, so what we want to do is transfer Bill to there. And then I need a pilot, please. I don't know who you guys are, or who's what. Scientist, engineer, scientist. Jeb's a pilot. Bill's an engineer. So I want to take a scientist, an engineer, and a pilot. And who do I have here? Bill. Bill, if I remember correctly, is an engineer. So I guess Jeb, you're going to Minmus today. So let's take Jebediah. To there. And then we'll spacewalk a scientist over. So let's go ahead and undock. Switch over to the lander. Confirm we got Jebediah and Bill, a pilot and an engineer. Okay, we'll pause it right there, please. RCS on. Let's back away. All right, and we want to get around to the other side of our tugboat here. Oh crap. Wrong ship. Turn on SAS. That's why you're drifting. RCS off. Get pointed. What a mess. Come on. Come on, laughter. Pull it together. Okay. Now we're talking. This is why lights are good. Watch when this thing comes together, though. It's going to be sexy. Tugboat time. Operation Tugboat. While we're waiting for this to dock, I wonder how many folks out there might have watched our broadcast yesterday of the Bathurst 12 hours in iRacing. It was an eventful race. My start was so bad. So 2 days ago, I purchased a new graphics card, an RTX 2070. And so I kind of quickly set everything up, got it all configured. And in doing so, I think I messed up my overlay for the stream. So my opening stint, the standings, the relative box was covering my face, which is awesome. And here we go. Anyway, but I was terrible in the opening stint. I mean, just really, really bad. And I mean, I hit the wall. I hit a couple other cars. I mean, just nudges, but enough to give us some front end damage that really slowed us down throughout the whole race. And I think if it weren't for those incidents, we would have been at least a top 7 car, maybe a podium car. All that despite a 43rd place starting position. Here we go. This is looking good. Let's bring it in, let the magnets take hold. Looky there. RCS off. Looky there. Alright, we're going to turn these bad boys off. Those guys are already enabled. We've got plenty of fuel there, and no fuel there. So, the fuel in the central tanks are the ones that are going to take us places. So now, we've got... Oh, we need to think about crew real fast. We've got Jebediah and got Bill. Let's go get a scientist from the station. I should have one on here. Yeah, Chadkin, do you want to go somewhere? Bob, you've already been to the moon. Yep, you're coming with me, pal. We'll transfer you to... Where? Oh, without the module, I don't have a hatch. Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Okay, now, Chadkin, you should be able to do an EVA. What do you mean, activate a hatch? What does that even mean? How do you activate a hatch? Control from here. Automatic EVA disabled. Activate a hatch. I don't know what that means. Google time. Left click a hatch to activate the menu for EVA. I seriously believe this is one time. So it's a left click? Oh, interesting. I don't know why that is. I don't know why that's a different mechanic than other times. Look at you. Well, I guess it's your second time in space because you got stuck in space, didn't you? Oh, I didn't even mention that. I have augmented the roster here in Kerbal by off camera doing some more rescue missions. There are 3 people currently on the station now, 2, who were stranded, and so I have brought them home. Alright, I think I might have to do some transferring to get people, to get everyone on board here, because I don't think I can go directly into this guy, into the crew compartment. I will try it real fast. I'm not sure if that's the truth or not. There's no hatch on it, I don't think, so... Ah, look at this beautiful thing. I am so happy with the way this turned out. Oh, I need to turn on my solar panels. Totally forgot that. Alright, can I... Is it possible? I don't think so. No. We're going to go back to our lander. We'll go to the tail end one. I don't really understand what the engineer can do. I guess it has to do with repairing parts somehow or another. So we'll experiment with that sometime. Put him on an EVA, send him out to a part, and just see what he can do. That's where you're going, brother. Whoa, whoa, wrong button, wrong button. I hate it when I don't get oriented. I need to go back, back, back. So easy to lose control of your Kerbal on EVA. It's just not a skill I developed. Grab. But can't board. Okay, so we will tab into the craft and we'll transfer crew, transfer to up here, and now we should be able to get in. Board. Alright, now we have 3 crew on board. Jebediah, you're flying. So we're gonna control from here. Man, I'm excited about this. Look how cool this is. Let's extend our panels. Where did I put them? Oh, there they are. Should have done that once I got into space. Glad I didn't run out of power or anything. Per pod there, yeah, and then I put some in the back too. Bask in the glory. All right, quick save before we start looking at Minmus. God, look at this ship. I love it. I can't believe how well this came out. Now, here's hoping that it tugs. Does it do the thing that it's supposed to do? We're about to find out. And I think that's going to come down to a fuel consumption question, or whether these poodles are just too powerful. I mean, if that's the case, I can limit their thrust. You know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to limit all the engine's thrust to... No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Let's just see what happens first. We did a quick save. I'm just going to let that run. Is there anything else I should be doing before we take off? That looks like an interplanetary ship. I mean, that has that look. And you might be able to see what I was talking about. So imagine here I've got my tugboat, and then I've got the lander attached to the back of it, right? Well, what if I had the lander in the middle and another tugboat out here, right? So I'd have a 3-part craft with 2 tugboats, right? That would be super duper cool. And that's probably what we'll do to go to Minmus or something like that. I'm sorry, to Duna. Where you at, Minmus? There you are. Set as target. Okay, so that's where we're going. Minmus obviously has a different inclination, so we'll need to adjust our inclination and burn out there. So we'll focus on the ascending node here, or the descending node, excuse me. We're going to add a maneuver there, and we're going to push out. Ooh, too far. So we'll push out, and we'll also push up. Back a bit. All right, so we can see that we're starting to get a intercept there, but it's off. So why don't we... Might have to do 2 burns here. Yeah, let's do one for the inclination change and then another one for the intercept. Where'd my notes go? Alright, it's currently a 6.9 difference. I feel like I need to turn down my mouse's sensitivity here. I wish I were better at doing combined maneuvers, and I'm sure that there's some learning I can do to get good at it, but at the moment I'm really mediocre at combining maneuvers. I've gotten okay at it where docking is concerned, but not for you know, interplanetary or even intersystem maneuvers go. Okay, let's warp up. Oh, we need to get pointed, don't we? Ooh, I'm a little worried about that. I don't know how quickly I can turn this thing without shaking it apart. Seconds to get there. That's not too bad. It's got to be careful anytime you have the main structural element here is a docking port. You got to be careful about maneuvering too quickly. Probably a good idea for me to disable this reaction wheel. That way I don't have it competing. About 9 seconds. Gotta get pointed. 3, 2, 1. Firing. 2 seconds passed. Not loving that. Not loving that. Oh goodness, look at that. Oh, there we go. Okay, that was just a graphical bug. That's telling me that I might need to add some strutting here. Some lengthwise strutting. So, maybe our perfect puller isn't quite perfect. How'd we do on our maneuver though with all the shenanigans? 0.6. That looks better. Okay. Let's see if that's good enough to get us an intercept. I don't really care about the inclination if it's close enough. Did I? No, okay. Alright, we got a Minmus periapsis. Of 2 million meters. That's fine. Let's just go with that. We don't need to be super exact here. I wonder if I pulled down here, if that helps. 21. Oh, here we go. 242,000. That ought to be perfect for a flyby. Yeah, that'll be perfect. Remember, we're just doing a flyby. We don't need to orbit. That'll be a separate mission. So, let's now gently put ourselves into position. Super duper gently. It is a beautiful craft, though. I just got to work on stability. I'm really surprised by how much that shook. And I'm wondering if it's just reaction wheels causing issues, you know? If I turn off any reaction wheels down here, that way it's really being controlled by the top one. I was clicking the wrong thing earlier. Alright, so that should have all of our reaction wheels except for the main one up top. Normal, but off, please. Normal, but disabled. Normal, disabled. Cool. And then this one should be normal, enabled. Alright, we're almost oriented. 6 minutes to go till burn. swear I had some, oh, radiators up here somewhere. And it's unfortunate how unstable this is. I'm really bummed by how unstable this is. What I thought was a perfect vehicle seems to have a flaw in it somewhere, and I don't really at this point know what it is. What if I transfer all the fuel from the lander up here to reduce the overall mass? Why don't we do that? Alt, not shift. I don't know if this will help or not, but if we can reduce the mass of the lander, then that, I'm hoping, should help with the issue that we're having here. And it appears to be maybe doing just that. Oh crap, I did the wrong thing. I didn't need to exit out of that.
Don't ignore what's happening here. We're having some kind of powerful, weird alchemy, and you have to pay attention when that happens. Stuff is not to be treated lightly.
Listen, I actually just came out here to have a cigarette, okay, and relax.
The amount of weight being managed within this docking port, I'm hoping does the trick. Part of this issue just might be the fact that I'm still using the junior docking ports. I haven't unlocked, I don't think, the big ones yet. So hopefully when we get the big ones, the next design of this puller will be better. Almost burn time. We're still pointed pretty well. Should have time to go ahead and finish the fuel transfer here. Okay. I think that's about as full as we can get up here, right? Hold on, we got one more set. How much time do we have? 19 seconds? I think that's enough. Never mind. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Minimal burn. Don't shake apart, baby. If I turn off SAS. Oh no, it got worse. Okay. The tail is wagging the dog. I guess I could reorient and try pushing instead of pulling, but man, in the past when I've tried to do that, back in alpha beta days, that was worse. I'm not digging it, man. At least our apoapsis is growing nicely.
Must meet again.
Yes.
I don't dare try to mid-burn correct. Let's see if we have it intercept. These burns are going to be sloppy. Not yet.
Speed again.
I told them all about you.
Another 2-second burn. Get reoriented here and we'll do a correction burn. This is really a bummer. I was super excited. I thought that this setup was just about perfect. I wonder if I went to just a core of the 3 meter, whether that would fix our problem. We're going to use this thing for the duration of this mission though. Minmus or bust. Maybe bust. Radiator goes through the engine. Look at that. Alright, so a couple of flaws have revealed themselves, but that's okay, you know, that's alright. It's a bummer. So we might, before we use this thing again, we might redesign it. In fact, we'll have to redesign it. We'll have to. I think it's just weak here. There's too much flex here. Might be the case. You know, let's turn off the gimbals here and see if maybe this helps. Stop the shaking. Right now, nothing. I wonder if that's been it. Just the gimbling of the engines. Right now we're at 0 time acceleration. We got no... Huh. I wonder if that's all it's been. Well, let's get out and see what happens. 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 48 seconds. All right. This should only be a 2-second burn. We just need 41 meters per second worth of delta V. We're well oriented right now. And let's find out if the gimbaling of the engines was part of our issue. 30 seconds to go. We'll accelerate a little bit here. And fire. Look at that. Solid as a rock. The gimbaling of the engines was the problem. Okay, good. That means that my platform is good. Just have to remember to shut down the gimbals. That's part of the checklist when you get into space. Excellent. Good stuff. All right, so right now where are we at? We've got a flyby of 292,000 meters of Minmus. That is excellent. We are on our way, and we figured out our issues. So, yippee. I'm excited. Where are those other radiators? I mean, I guess I get it in real space that they radiate heat. I just don't have like a heat reading up here, so I don't know what they're doing in reality here. Oh, here we are. Extend. And extend. Either way, it just makes the ship look a little bit cooler. But I'll have to reorient them for V2 so that they're not intersecting with the engines. So make a checklist in your mind. We want to move the radiators, and we want to, what else? What else do we want to do, guys? We want to move the radiators. And that's it? I guess that's it. I guess that's it. All right, we'll think about that for the moment. All right, let's warp to here. Watching it happen by well beyond the moon now. Let's start looking for Minmus. It's a tiny little twinkle. I think we're back to real time now. Minmus, if we are looking off to the right of the planet, is where we should see it. There it is. There's Kerbal. All right. Minmus, where be you? Still don't see you. Okay. Well, let's warp to here then. Time warp complete. Ah, there it is. Hi, Minmus. You little ice rock, you. All right, let's go ahead and watch the nav ball. We're going to run lots of experiments, man. All right, nav ball changed. So now we are in Minmus's sphere of influence. So we'll start at the top of the ship and move our way back. head back to Kerbal. It's good to know that the high gain antenna is good for out here. Let's plot. Let's go ahead and just escape Minmus gravity. Wait for the nav ball to change. Alright, nav ball's changed. So right now we are what? On a slingshot escape trajectory. So what we'll want to do, our current periapsis for Kerbal is 2 million. If I add a maneuver for braking at this point, alright, we end up in a very elliptical orbit with 802, 700, 400, 127, 39. Okay, what we're going to want to do though is go ahead and let me think about this. We want to go ahead and reinsert the lander and land it, and then we want to bring the puller, the tugboat, into an orbit and redock it with our station. So, all right, that means we'll need to. Let's go ahead and get. We'll just do an orbit, but we won't aero brake with this thing. I'm afraid that's going to break off all my solar panels and stuff. So, let's pull that back out a bit. Oop, wrong way. All right, 100,000 is fine. You know what? No, let's put it at 200,000 because that's what our station's at. 238, that'll work. Okay. Now we'll double check that that gimbling fixed our issue. Look at that, like a rock. It was straight up the gimbling. I love this craft. I still think I should have done some vertical strutting here. Or I guess horizontal strutting if you think about it in these terms. I think about it vertically because of building at the VAB. Fourteen, 13, almost there. 10 seconds to go. Gonna be a 4-second burn. We'll just do it from this view. That should put us into orbit. A crazy orbit, 45 million meter periapsis, but it's in orbit. Now, of course, we'll need to circularize that when we get down here, so let's go ahead and warp here. And we'll point retrograde, please. And we'll bring this from 260 to around 200 or so. And while we circularize, bring our periapsis down. How are we looking on gas? Remembering that we haven't landed, right? So there's still a fundamental issue here where we haven't landed and we've used a lot of our fuel for these maneuvers. And we've got no fuel in the lander. So I am thinking we need to have an intermediary set of fuel tanks for maneuvering fuel, especially if we're going to go interplanetary. I think we're good for a Minmus run as it is, as far as landing goes, and I just really love the design, but we definitely need to send some fuel up. So I do think the next major thing we do is going to be a station, and then that will enable us to go build an outpost on the moon and satisfy that mission. So Maybe a station's next. Where are we at? 236. Stop it at 225. I think I actually want to raise the altitude of the station, or bring our next one up to this height. Oh, I need to flatten this too, don't I? I guess I only need to for the puller though. Let's go ahead and transfer some fuel to the lander. For reinsertion burns, and then I think we'll decouple the lander shortly here. Should have done all three of those. I definitely don't need that much. Well, I might. We can aero brake the lander. We just can't aero brake this bad boy. We'll go ahead and fill up that center tank. It doesn't hurt us. We're going to send some fuel missions up in a bit anyway. We'll continue to use the tugboat to bring our apoapsis down. So let's warp to the periapsis. I love this game. It's relaxing and engaging at the same time, and that's a special mix of capabilities or attributes. I wonder if those are direct sunlight. Neat. Getting some wobble here. I wonder if that's because of the mass. I wonder if I put the fuel up closer to the front, if that would help with the distribution. I guess I kind of thought that the more central the fuel, the better. Definitely getting some wobble with the lander fueled. Interesting. So I was right on two things, I think. I think the gimbal was a major contributor, and I think that the fuel situation was another one. I think that having a bunch of weight, a bunch of mass hanging out in the back of the ship is a problem. Which makes me think launching an intermediary stage that houses the rocket fuel, but that's all, might be the thing to do. Interesting. I think we're going to do something with the lander, by the way. I think I might try to land it in the polar region, just to get some science, like do a couple surface samples and get some extra science. Okay, I think that's good enough. That will enable us to have some flexibility for plotting an intercept at the station in a minute. So we'll go ahead and stabilize. Let's ensure who's in this ship. Jebediah and Bob are in this ship, which is perfect. So we'll undock and send those guys back to Kerbal. Let's go ahead and retract our radiators, because you're about to be landing. Thank you very much, Puller. Tugboat. Bill, I'll see you later. You're going to fly to the station in a bit after we land this bad boy. I missed the apoapsis. It's okay. Let's get pointed. Retrograde, please. I say. Let's get pointed retrograde, please, Jeb. Control from here. Oh, my reaction wheels are turned off. There we go. Where's my retrograde? Okay, let's think about, though, setting up that polar approach. If I want to do that, that means about here, I'm going to want to add a maneuver that I'm not sure if I'll have enough to do it. Minute 7. I think that means I don't have enough fuel to do that. We'll do a quick save and try. If not, we'll insert over here somewhere. No biggie. We'll do a quick save, just in case. Warp to next maneuver, and then we'll go ahead and quick save before we try it. Quick saving done. And let's be ready to fire up. It's a 2300 meters per second delta V change. So yeah, probably not enough fuel to get this done. But either way, we should be able to re-enter the atmosphere and land. I'm confident that this thing can land without burning up, just because we did it with Valentina's, which was basically the same design. Okay, we're definitely landing. Check my staging here. Drogue shoots will fire first, and then pod shoots, and then main shoots. A lot of shoots. I'm going to make sure I understand what this is. The red might be what is marking what's beyond my current fuel capacity. Looks like that's what it is. Yeah, we won't be able to get this polar landing. Yeah, okay, so now I know more about the UI. That's what that means. Cool, it's a good feature. I like that. 300,000 meters. Let's go ahead and bring her on in. We're going straight the heck down. This might be too aggressive an entry. Point retrograde. Can't slow it down from here. I wonder if I can land on this island. Slow me down, kids. Slow me down. Ooh, that's going fast. Oh! What's blowing off? Science modules. Okay, reloading quick save. Alright, we're going to do a more gentle approach here. We can't get to the poles as I have it right now. Where can we get? Anywhere that we haven't been. It's too bad. Suppose we could target some mountains. I don't think I've gotten any mountain data yet. Let's target those mountains there. Yeah, that was basically a vertical drop. That's not going to work. Maybe going to the poles and stuff, that's just an excuse for me to finally learn how to do planes. Something I've just never farted with. Never been terribly interested in it. It's a spaceflight game. I haven't been interested in exploring Kerbal. But then again, I suppose a lot of folks do single stage takeoff stuff by building planes. They build space planes. Okay, that should bring us in over those mountains at a gentler slope, and we still got fuel for braking. So let's set retrograde and accelerate and bring it on in. Let's close all these doors. There's where we exploded a minute ago. Okay. Still way long, so we'll do a braking burn here. Bring it in closer. Not going to make those mountains. fire for this area. I think we might just end up out in the grasslands here. It's okay. It's going to help us meet our mission requirements. Not a big deal. I feel much better about this approach, speed-wise.
I mean, I'd like to believe I'm not, but I've just never seen any proof, so I just don't debate it anymore.
I like the way it rolls, but we're through the worst of it. Should be good now. Chutes should be able to take care of us from here. Drogue chutes are clear.
Is that scary?
I don't want to be alone.
Anytime, drogue chutes.
It's absurd.
The search for God is absurd.
It is if everyone dies alone.
I'll never close the bays. Checklist, kids. Checklist. This new RTX 2070 has allowed me to up my graphics in this game too, and so I've increased the scatter density and surface details, and so that's what's allowing me to get these beautiful shadows, these long shadows at sunset here. I guess those are trees down there. Awesome. Landing gear extended. Getting ready to fire my last set of chutes here. Drogue chutes have done their job. Pod chutes are doing theirs now. We'll turn off SAS. And we've got one more set to fire off the main chutes actually. That's all. Those are all support chutes. So I over-engineered the chutes here to allow for any kind of landing. Lovely. Lovely sunset. Last set. Slows us down to almost nothing, which means I'm going to time accelerate until we get close. Boom. Landed on Kerbal. Mission's complete. Alright, now let's just real quickly do some EVAs. From the Highlands. Surface sample got me something. That's good. You do a surface sample as well. Now, both of you get back on, please. Board, and then transfer Jebediah back up top. And you get back on. Oops, keep pushing the wrong button. Board. That's a bummer. Only can have one of them at a time, I guess. Alright, well, let's recover this. All right, 448 science. Woohoo! Awesome time. Bob and Jebediah gained some XP. That's great. All right, now, real quickly, let's go back to the tugboat. Well, first off, Station 1 ship. We're going to just terminate you. Now, tugboat, fly. I want to see if I can transmit back anything that Bill might still have on the ship, or the value of any of the stuff that's in the materials base. If not, well, actually, I'm only going to try to transmit things that transmit at 100%. So, review crew report. No. Okay. So let's go back and look at these bays then. Review stored data. EVA report. I'll transmit that and let's see what happens. See if I actually get that science. Okay, since we've landed our ship, that has basically made the data that we have on this ship useless, and that's okay. That's fine. Let's ensure that this is in a good parking orbit. 432 to 198. It's safe. Excellent. Okay, I think that is our mission for today. Really exciting though. That was a lot of fun. Let's go back to our space center and think about what we're going to do next. It's probably going to want me to go land on Minmus, but what I think we're going to do instead is build a new version of the space station and then go back to the moon to create this base. So I'm going to be unlocking new tech aimed at that direction. So I'll look that over, and we'll catch you next time, you guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you had fun. Fishhooks out.